sweetheart. Leave it all to me. Shall I go smoke the auto?
I'm done.
Hello, sweetheart. Your nose is cold.
I just come in.
Why? Surely you haven't been out in this weather.
I had to go down to the village for some stuff I'd forgotten. Did you get the chicken that thing?
It wasn't the right kind. I went to another hotel, but that wasn't any good either. I had to get a full table, so thank God. Half frozen. Gross skin like anything, so it's coming down quick. What do you think? We're not going back tomorrow.
Oh, dear, I hope not. If only the pipes don't freeze.
We have to keep the central heating all soaked up. Not too good. I was just in the coat long. I feel like crying too much.
Oh, dear. I want everything to go well at first. First impressions are so important.
Is everything ready? Please arrive at this.
No, thank goodness. I think everything's in order. Miss Barlow sent it early, afraid of the weather, I suppose.
Useless David women are. Is everything on your shoulders?
And yours, this is a partnership.
As long as you'll ask me to cook.
No, that's my department. Anyway, we've got plenty of tins in case we have snowed up. Oh, Giles, do you think it's going to be all right?
Cold feet, David? Are you sure we didn't sell this place you're not left it to you? I'm not mad idea of doing this in the guest house?
No, I'm not. I'm not. And talking of a guest house, just look at that.
Pretty good. What?
It's a disaster, don't you see? You've left out the S. Monkwell instead of Monkswell.
Good point, so I did. How did I come to do that? It doesn't really matter, does it? Uncle is just getting in.
You're in disgrace. Go and soak up the central heating.
Across the icy yard? Shall I make it for the night now?
No, you don't do that until 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
How appalling.
Hurry up, someone may arrive any minute now.
You've got all the rooms worked out.
Yes, let's see. Miss Boyle, front four-poster room, Major Metcalf, blue room, Miss Casewell, east room, and Mr. Wren, oak room.
I wonder what all those people will be like. Why don't you got it right in advance?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Or rather, mugs of this game.
They take luggage. If they don't pay, we hang on to their luggage. It's quite simple.
I cannot think we should have taken a correspondence course in hotel keeping. We're bound to get added in some way. The luggage might be bricks wrapped up in newspaper, and then where would we be then?
They all wrote some very good addresses.
That's what servants of forged references do. These people might be criminals hiding from the police.
I don't care what they are, so long as they pay 7 guineas every week.
Such a warrant for the business, Molly.
As according to Scotland Yard, the crime took place at 24 Culver Street, Paddington. The murdered woman was a Mrs. Maureen Lyon. In connection with the murder, the police are anxious to interview a man seen in the vicinity wearing a dark overcoat, light scarf, and bristle felt hat. Motorists are warned against outbound roads. This to be snow is expected to continue.
Right, so weather is simply awful. My taxi gave up at your gate. Wouldn't attempt the drive. No sporting instinct. Are you Mrs. Ralston? How delightful. My name's Wren.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Wren?
You know you're not at all as I pictured you. I've been thinking of you as a retired Jones widow. Indian Army. I thought you'd be terrifically grim and then soft-ish, and that the whole place would be simply crammed with the name's brass. Instead, it's heavenly. Quite heavenly. Lovely proportions. That's a fake. Ah, but this table's genuine. I'm simply going to love this place. Have you got the wax flowers of birds of paradise?
I'm afraid not.
What a pity. Well, what about a sideboard? A purple poly mahogany sideboard with great solid carved fruits on.
Yes, we have in the dining room.
Here? I must see it. Absolutely perfect. Good bedrock respectability. But why do away with the centre mahogany table? Little tables just spoil the effect.
We thought the guests would prefer that. This is my husband.
How do you do? Terrible weather, isn't it? Takes one back to Dickens and Scrooge and that irritating dining tent. So bogus. Of course, Mrs. Ralston, you're absolutely right about the little tables. I was being carried away by my feeling of the period. If you have a mahogany dining table, you have to have the right family around. Sad handsome father with a beard, prolific-faced mother, 11 children of assorted ages, a grim governess, and somebody called Poor Harriet, the poor relation who acts as General Dogg's body and is very, very grateful for being given a good home.
I'll take your suitcase upstairs for you. Oprah, did you say?
Yes.
I do hope that it's got photos to with chintz roses on it. It hasn't. I don't believe your husband is going to like me. How long have you been married? Are you very much in love?
We've been married this year. How about you come see your room?
Ticked off! But I do so love knowing all about people. I mean, I think people are so madly interesting, don't you?
Well, I suppose some are, and some are not.
No, I don't agree. I think they're all interesting, because you never really know what anyone is like, or what they're really thinking. For instance, you don't know what I'm thinking about now, do you?
Not in the least. Would you like a cigarette?
No, thank you. You see, the only people who really know what other people are like are artists, and they don't know why they know it. But if they're portrait painters, it comes out on the canvas.
Are you a painter?
No, I'm an architect. My parents, you know, baptized me Christopher in the hopes I would be an architect. Christopher Wren, as good as halfway home. Actually, of course, everyone laughs about it, makes jokes about St. Paul's. However, who knows? I may yet have the last laugh. Chris Wren's brief foundnesses may yet go down in history. I'm going to like it yet. I find your wife most sympathetic. Indeed, really very beautiful.
Oh, don't be absurd.
There. Isn't that like Englishwomen? Compliments always embarrass them. European women take compliments as a matter of course, but English women have all the feminine spirit crushed out of them by their husbands. There's something very boorish about English husbands.
Why don't you come up and see your room?
Shall I?
Will you stoke up the hot water boiler? This is Monkswell Manor, I presume.
Yes.
I am Mrs. Boyle.
I'm Giles Wilson. Come to the palace, Boyle. Get warm. Terrible weather, is this your only luggage?
A major. Metcalf is seeing to it.
I'll leave the door open.
The taxi wouldn't risk coming up the drive. It stopped at your gate. We had to share a taxi from the station, and there was much difficulty in getting that. Nothing ordered to meet us, it seems.
I am so sorry, Mrs. Boyle. We didn't know a train would be coming by, you see. Of course we've seen that. Some of our own. The same night.
All trains should have been met.
Let me take your coat. Oh, my wife will be down in a moment. I'll just go along and get Captain Frank's bags.
The drive might have at least been cleared of snow. Most offhand and casual, I must say. I'm so sorry. Mrs. Ralston. Yes, You're very young. Young? To be running an establishment of this kind, you can't have had much experience.
Well, there has to be beginning for everything, hasn't there?
I see. Quite inexperienced. An old house. I hope you haven't got dry rot. Certainly not. A lot of people don't know they've got dry rot until it's too late to do anything about it.
The house is in perfect condition.
Could do with a coat of paint. You know you've got worm in this oak.
This way, Major. Oh, this is my wife. How do you do?
Absolute blizzard outside. I thought at one time we should make it. Oh, I beg your pardon. If it goes on like this, I should say you'll have 5 or 6 feet of snow by morning. Not seen anything like it since I was on leave in 1991.
Oh, I'll take these bags upstairs. Which room did you say? Blue room and rose room.
No, I put Mr. Red in the rose room. He liked the full poster so much. So it's Miss Boyle in the oak room and Major Metcalf in the blue room.
Major.
Sir,
staff.
No indoor staff, just us.
Indeed. I was aware that this was a guest house in full running order.
Well, we've only just started this course today.
I knew so, but a proper staff of servants was essential before starting a place of this kind. I consider your advertisement was most misleading. May I ask if I am the only guest staying here, along with the Major Metcalf, that is?
Oh no, there are several here.
And this weather too, a blizzard no less. All very
We
unfortunate.
can very well foresee the weather.
The north wind doth blow, and it will bring snow, and what will the robin do then, poor thing? I adore nursery rhymes, don't you? Always so tragic and macabre. That's why children like them.
May I introduce Mr. Red, Miss Boyle?
How do you do?
This is a very beautiful house, don't you think so?
I've come to the time in my life where the amenities of an establishment are much more important than its appearance. If I had not thought that this was a running concern, then I should never have come here. I understood that it was fully equipped with every home comfort.
There's no obligation to remain here if not satisfied, Mrs. Boyle.
No, indeed. I should not think of doing so.
If there's been any misapprehension, perhaps it would be better if you went elsewhere. I hurry up for the tickets to return. The roads are not yet blocked.
I should not think of leaving this place before I have tried out what it is like. You needn't think that you can turn me out now. Perhaps you could take me up to my bedroom, Mrs. Ralston.
Certainly, Miss Boyle. Darling, you are wonderful.
I think that's a perfectly horrible woman. I don't like her at all. I'd like to see you turn her out to the snow. Serve her right.
It's a pleasure to for Phil, I'm afraid. Or there's another of them. Come in, come in.
Afraid my car's bogged about half a mile down the road, ran into the drift.
Oh, let me take this. Is there any more stuff in the car?
No, I travel light. Glad to see you've got a good fire.
Oh, Mr. and Miss,
Hey, Swell.
my wife will be down in a moment.
Oh, no, I've got to get myself thawed out. Looks as though you're going to be snowed up here. Weather forecast says heavy falls expected, mattress warned, etc. Hope you've got plenty of provisions and
Oh yes, Mom's an excellent manager. Well, in any case, we can always get our dentist.
before we start eating each other, eh?
Any news in the paper apart from the weather?
The usual political crisis. Oh, yes, and a rather juicy murder.
A murder? Oh, I like murder.
They seem to think it was a homicidal maniac, strangled a woman somewhere near Paddington. Sex maniac, I suppose.
Doesn't say much, does it? The police are anxious to interview a man seen in the vicinity of Culver Street at the time, wearing darkish overcoat, lightish scarf, and soft felt hat. Police messages to this effect have been broadcast throughout the day.
Useful description would fit pretty well anyone, wouldn't it?
When it says the police are anxious to interview someone, is that a polite way of hinting that he's the murderer?
Could be.
Who is the woman who is murdered? Mrs. Lyon, Mrs. Maureen Lyon. Younger. Oh, it doesn't say. It doesn't seem to have been robbery.
I told you. Sex maniac.
Oh, Miss Casewell, this is Molly, my wife.
How do you do? It's an awful night. The water's hot. If you like that, would you like to come up to your room? You're right, I would. I must get down to the kitchen and get on with things. Major Metcalf is very nice. He won't. Of course, it's Miss Boyle who really frightens me. We must have a nice dinner. I was thinking of opening 2 tins of minced beef and cereal and mashed potatoes and a stewed figs and custard and a tin of peas. Do you think that would be all right?
Oh, yes, I suppose so. Not very original, perhaps.
Do let me help. I adore cooking. Why not an omelette? You've got eggs, haven't you? you?
Yes, we've got plenty of eggs. We keep lots of fowls. They don't lay as well as they should, but we've got a lot of eggs.
And if you've got a bottle of cheap anti wine, you could add it to them. Minced beef and cereals, did you say? Give it a continental flavour. Show me where the kitchen is and what you've got, and I dare say I shall have an inspiration.
Come on. Isn't he sweet? He's put on an apron and he's getting all the things together. He said leave it all to him and don't come back for half an hour. If I gets him to do all the cooking, it will save a lot of trouble.
Why on earth did you give him the best room?
I told you, you liked the full poster.
Like the pretty four poster. Tarp.
Giles,
I've got no use for that kind. You didn't handle a suitcase, I did.
had it got bricks in it?
It hasn't annoyed at all. You guys he's just one of those young men who go around bilking hotel keepers.
I don't think I like him. Anyways, I think Miss Casewell's rather peculiar, don't you?
Terrible female. If she is a female.
I think it's rather hard that all our guests should either be unpleasant or odd. Anyway, Major Metcalf's all right, don't you think?
Probably drinks.
Oh, do you think so?
No, I don't. She's feeling rather depressed, that's all. Well, in any case, you know the worst of it now. They've all arrived.
Who can that be?
Probably a bullshit murder.
Don't.
Oh!
Thousand pardons. I am back. Well,
This is Muscle Manor guest house.
but what a stupendous fortune, madame. A guest house and a charming host. My Rolls Royce, alas, has run into a snow. Blinding snow everywhere. I do not know where I am. Perhaps I think to myself, I shall freeze to death. And then I take a little bath and I stagger through the snow. I see before me big iron gates. Accommodation! I am saved! Twice I fall over to the snow as I go to your drive, but at last I arrive and immediately despair. Joy. You can't get a room here.
Yes?
It's around small, I'm afraid. You've only just opened this place as a guest house today.
Now, you have other guests.
What about your luggage?
Oh, that is of no consequence. I have locked the guards securely.
But wouldn't it be better to
No,
get
no,
it in?
no. I can assure you on such a night as this that there will be no thieves abroad. As for me, my wants are very simple. I have all I need here in this little bag. Yes, all that I need.
You'd better get further than one. I'll see about your room. It's rather cold and I'm afraid because it faces north, but all the others are occupied.
You have several guests, then?
Oh yes, there's a Major Metcalf and a Miss Casewell and a Miss Boyle. And a young man called Christopher Wren, and now you.
Yes, the unexpected guest. The guest you did not invite. Who am I? You do not know. Where do I come from? You do not know. Me, I am a man of mystery. But now I tell this, I complete the picture. From now on, there will be no more arrivals, and none but either. By tomorrow, perhaps even already, we have cut off from civilization. No butcher, no baker, no postman, no milkman, no daily papers, nobody and nothing but ourselves. That is admirable. Admirable. It could not suit me better. My name, by the way, is Beckford.
Oh yes, I was Ralston.
Mr. and Mrs. Ralston. And this is Mousetrap
excellent lunch, too.
Corned beef.
But very well disguised corned beef. Red wine in it. Mrs. Wilson promised to make a pie for us tonight.
And these radiators are not really hot. I shall speak about it.
Very comfortable beds, too. At least mine was. Hope yours was, too.
It was quite adequate. I don't see why the best bedroom should have been given to that very peculiar young man.
Got here ahead of us. First come, first served.
From the advertisement I received, I got quite a different impression of what this place would be like. A comfortable writing room and a much larger place altogether, with bridge and other amenities.
Regular old Tabby's delight.
I beg your pardon.
I mean, yes. I quite see what you mean.
No, indeed. I shan't stay here long.
No, I don't suppose you will.
Really, that is a very peculiar young man. Unbalanced mentally, I shouldn't wonder.
Think he's escaped from a lunatic asylum.
I shouldn't be at all surprised.
Giles,
Yes?
can you shut the snow again from the back door?
Coming.
I'll give you a hand. What? Good exercise. Must have exercise.
Sorry, it's all right.
Really, what a remarkable young woman. Carrying a carpet sweeper through the front hall. Aren't there any back stairs?
Oh, yes, nice back stairs. Very convenient if there were a fire.
Well, then why not use them? In any case, the housework should have all been done in the morning before lunch.
I gather our hostess had to cook the lunch.
All very haphazard and amateurish. There should be a proper staff.
Not very easy to get nowadays, is it?
No, indeed. The lower classes have no idea of their responsibilities.
Poor old lower class. Got to get between the teeth, haven't they?
I gather you are a socialist.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I'm not for it, just helping. But I don't take much interest in politics. I live abroad.
I suppose conditions are much easier abroad.
I wouldn't have to cook and clean as I gather most people have to do in this country.
This country has gone sadly downhill. I had to sell my house last year. Everything just became too difficult.
Hotels and guest houses are easier.
They indeed solve some of one's problems. Are you over in England for long?
It depends. I've got some business to see to. When that's over, I shall go back.
To France?
No,
Italy?
no.
Would you mind not having that on quite so loud? I always find the radio rather distracting when one's trying to write letters.
Do you?
If you don't particularly...
Oh, it's my favorite music. There's a writing room in there.
Yes, I know, but it's much warmer in here.
Much warmer, I agree.
Bloody old witch!
Well, that girl, that woman's hotly down in the cheap glaze. Positively glaze.
Turn it down a bit.
Is that all right?
Oh, yes, it's perfect.
What place?
Tap, boy.
Oh, you mean her. What's she do?
Oh, she's just bloody old witch. Do you even like her?
I don't like her at all. Let's think of things we can do tomorrow, shall we? Or we should go away from here.
In this? Not a hill.
But when the snow melts.
Oh, when the snow melts, lots of things may happen.
Yes, that's true. Snow's rather lovely, isn't it? Oh, it's so peaceful and pure. It makes one forget things.
Doesn't make me forget.
Oh, fierce you sound.
I was thinking.
What sort of thing?
I saw
no.
Oh, you didn't know I was invited, did you?
Are you?
Oh, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Actually, I'm not. Yes! Yes, this is Maxwell Madigan's house. What? Who? Oh, no, Mr. Ralston can't come to the telephone right now. This is Mrs. Ralston speaking. Oh, the Berkshire Police. Yes, Superintendent Hogman. No, I'm afraid we're snowed up, completely snowed up. No, nothing can get here. The roads are impassable. Yes. What? Hello?
Molly, do you know where there's another spade?
Jonathan, police.
Trouble with the police, eh? Serving liquor without a license?
They're sending out an inspector or a sergeant or something.
You'll never get here.
That's what I said, but they seemed quite confident that he would.
Nonsense. I've been a jeep we get through in this weather. Hey, it's all about.
That's what I asked if they wouldn't say. They just said I was to impress on my husband to listen very carefully to what Sergeant Toronto, I think it was, had to say, and to follow his instructions implicitly. Isn't it extraordinary?
What on earth do you think we've done?
Do you think those nylons from Mr. Broughton?
I did remember to get the wireless license, didn't I?
Yes, it's in the kitchen dresser.
I'd rather near ship the car the other day, but it wasn't entirely the other fellow's fault.
We must have done something.
I expect we ignored some 10-pot weightless or some ministry of it. You presently can't avoid it nowadays.
Here I am stop at this place. We're going to be starting today, and everyone is cross, and we shall go through our time.
Darling, cheer up. Everything's going the right moment. I filled the coals, stoked the alga, and done the hens. Next, I'll fill the boiler and chop some kindling. You know, Molly, you must do something rather serious to send a police sergeant tripping out and all this. It must be something rather urgent.
Mr. Ralston, are you aware that the central heating in the library is practically stone cold?
I am so sorry, Mr. Boyle. We're a bit short of coke and,
I am paying 7 guineas a week here. 7 guineas and I do not want to praise.
I'll go soak it up.
Mrs. Ralston, if you don't mind my saying, that is quite the extraordinary young man you have staying here. His manners and his ties, and does he ever brush his hair?
He's an extremely brilliant young architect.
I beg your pardon.
Christopher Wren is an architect.
My dear young woman. Of course I've heard of Sir Christopher Wren. Of course he was an architect. He built St. Paul's. You young people seem to think that nobody is educated but yourselves.
I meant this friend. His parents called him Christopher in hopes he'd be an architect, and he is one, or nearly one. So it turned out all right.
Sounds a fishy story to me. I should make some inquiries about him, I will. What do you know of him?
Just as much as I know about you, Miss Boyle, which is that you're both paying 7 guineas every week. That's all I really need to know, isn't it? It doesn't matter to me about whether I like my guests or whether I don't.
You are young and inexperienced and should welcome advice from someone more knowledgeable than yourself. And what of this foreigner?
What about her?
You weren't expecting him, were you?
To turn away a bona fide traveler against the law, Miss Boyle, you should know that.
Why do you say that?
Aren't you a magistrate sitting on the bench, Miss Boyle?
Well, all I say is that this Parabasini, or whatever he calls himself, seems to me to be very, very...
Beware, dear lady. Speak of the devil, and here he is. Ha 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 ha!
I didn't hear you come in.
No, I came in the picture like this. Nobody hears me if I do not want them to. I find it very amusing.
Indeed.
make it very easy, yes. Very, very easy.
I don't know what you mean.
No, there's quite a lot you don't know about. I think, for one thing, you do not know much about running against us.
I dare say we don't, but we need to make a go of it.
Bravo! Bravo!
I'm not such a very bad cook.
You are without a doubt an enchanting cook. May I give you a little word of warning, Mrs. Ralston? You and your husband must not be too trusting, you know. Have you any references to the other guests of yours?
Is that usual? I always thought people just stay.
It is advisable to know a little bit about the people who sleep under your roof. Take, for example, myself. I come in saying that my car overturned in a snow. What do you know? Nothing at all! I may be a thief, a rob, a fugitive of justice, a man, or even a man.
Oh,
You see? And perhaps you know just as little as your other guests.
well, as far as Miss Boyle goes.
The drawing room is far too cold to sit in. I shall finish my letters in here.
Allow me to put the back.
Excuse me, Mrs. Ralston, but is your husband about? I'm afraid the pipes in the downstairs cloakroom are frozen.
Oh dear, what an awful day. First the police and then the
Police!
Police, did you say?
Yes, they called just now to say there's something, a sergeant or an inspector or something. But I don't think he'll ever get here.
The raincoat is more than half coat and the price! Hello, is anything the matter?
I hear the police are on their way here. Why?
Oh, that's right. They'll never get here. The place must be what? High feet deep? Excuse me, Mr. Persky.
Oh, John,
Are you Mr. Ralston?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Get the size drop to the sharp police. Can I get these skates off and sell them somewhere?
Go to the front door. I'll get you there.
Thank you, sir.
I suppose that's what we pay our police force for nowadays. To go around enjoying themselves at winter sports.
Mrs. Ralston, why did you sing for the police?
but I did it.
Who's that man? Where did he come from? He passed the drawing room window unscathed. All of us know him looking terribly hearty.
You may believe it or not, but that man was a policeman. A policeman! Skiing!
This is Detective Sergeant Trotter.
Good afternoon.
You can't be a sergeant. You're too young.
I'm not as young as I look, madam, but
Terribly hearty.
We'll stow your skis under the stairs.
excuse me, Mrs. Ralston, but may I use your telephone?
Of course, big fat cat.
He's very attractive, don't you think so? I don't think he's very attractive.
No brains. You can see that at the last.
Hello? Hello? Mrs. Ralston, this phone is dead. Quite dead.
It was all right about half an hour ago.
Line's gone with the weight of the snow, I suppose.
So quite cut off now. Quite cut off. That's funny, isn't it?
I don't see anything to laugh at.
No, indeed.
Ah, it's a private joke of my own. History returning.
Now we can get to business, Mr. Ralston, Mrs. Ralston.
Would you like to speak to us alone? So we can go to the library.
It's not necessary, sir. It'll save time to everybody's present. If I might sit at this table.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Oh, do hurry and tell us, what have we done?
That, I was something to climb, Mrs. Ralston. It's something quite different. It's more matter of police protection, if you understand me.
Police protection.
It relates to the death of Mrs. Lyne. Marie Lyne, in front of Culver Street in London West 2, was murdered yesterday. The 15th incident. You may have heard or read of the case.
Yes, I heard about it over the wireless, the woman who was strangled.
That's right, miss.
of Mrs. Stanley along the trial. One of the children subsequently died as a result of criminal neglect and persistence of treatment. The case made a big sensation at the time.
It was horrible.
The Stanley was sentenced to terms of imprisonment. Stanley died in prison. Mrs. Stanley served her time and was duly released. Yesterday, as I say, she found strangled at 24 Culver Street.
Who did it?
I'm coming to that matter. I'd seen the crime was a notebook. They'd written in the notebook two addresses. One was for the other was one for man.
What?
Yes, sir. That's why, upon receiving this information from Scotland Yard, Superintendent Hogman sent me to find out if any of you have any connection in this house or even in this house in the Long Trial case.
There's nothing, absolutely nothing. It must be a coincidence.
Superintendent Hogman considered a coincidence, sir. He had come himself that would have been any way possible that, given the weather conditions and our entire scheme, he sent me to be full particulars of everyone, to report back to him by telephone, and take measures I thought fit to ensure the safety of the household.
Safety? What danger does he think we're in? Good Lord, he's not suggesting that someone's going to be killed here.
I don't want to frighten any of the ladies, but frankly, yes, it is the idea. I've got to find out from you.
The whole thing's crazy.
It's crazy, it's dangerous, sir.
Nonsense.
I must say it seems a bit far-fetched.
I think it's wonderful.
Is there something you haven't told us, Simon?
Yes, written in the two addresses was 3 blind mice, and on the dead woman's body was a paper with this is the first written on it. Beneath the words was a little drawing of 3 little mice and a bar of music. The music was set to the tune of 3 blind mice. You know how it goes. 3 blind mice.
3 blind mice. See how they run. They all run after the farmer's wife. Oh, that's horrible.
There were 3 children and 1 died.
That's right, sir. The youngest, boy of 11.
What happened to the other 2?
The girl was adopted by someone. We had little trace of present whereabouts. The eldest boy would be up about 22. Deserted from the army and hasn't returned to us since. According to the army psychologist, was definitely schizophrenic, a bit queer in the head, that's to say.
And they think that it was he who killed his wife, Miss Stanley.
Yes.
And that he's a homicidal maniac and he's here to kill us. But why?
That's what we ought to find out from you. As a superintendent, there must be some connection. Now, you say so that you have no connection to the army case.
No.
What about you, miss?
No, I'm no connection.
What about servants?
We haven't any servants, and that reminds me, if you wouldn't mind, Sergeant Carter, I'll be in the kitchen if you want me.
That's a private school. Could I have all your names, please?
Really, this is quite ridiculous. We're merely staying at kind of the hotel. We've only been here since yesterday. We've nothing to do with the place.
You plan to come here in advance, though. You've got your rooms ahead.
Well, yes. All except for Mr.
Prepare a CD. Oh my God, overturned in the Stonebridge.
I see. What I'm getting at is that one of you is in danger, deadly danger, I want to know what that is.
I can assure you that I have no idea of this business. I am a foreigner here, and I know nothing of these years, these bygone years of nonsense.
What about you, sir?
Major. Read about the case in the papers at the time. I was stationed in Edinburgh. No personal knowledge.
And you?
Christopher Wren. I was a new child at the time. I don't remember even hearing about it.
And you, miss?
Boy. Really, this is... I consider it an impertinence that... Why on earth should I have anything to do with this distressing business?
Miss?
Caseborough. Leslie Caseborough. I've never heard of the Longbridge Farm. I know nothing about it.
Very well. Now then, Mr. Ross, can I have a look around the house?
My dears, how melodramatic. He's very attractive, isn't he? I do admire the police. So stern and hard-boiled. Quite a thrill in this whole business. 3 blind mice. How does the tune go? be getting out of it.
Melodramatic rubbish. I don't believe a word of it.
But just wait, Mrs. Boyle, till I creep up behind you and you feel my hands on my throat.
Stop!
That'll do, Christopher. It's a poor joke anyway. In fact, it's not a joke at all.
Oh, but that's just what it is. A madman's joke. That's just what makes it so deliciously macabre. If I could just see your faces.
A singularly ill-mannered and neurotic young man.
This child, taking our policeman on a conducted tour of the house.
Your friend, the architect, has been behaving in a most abnormal manner.
Young fellows seem nervy nowadays. I dare say he'll grow out of it.
Nerves. I haven't any patience with people who say they have nerves. I haven't any nerves.
No. Perhaps this is just as well for you, Mrs. Boyle.
What do you mean?
I think you were actually one of the magistrates on the bench at the time. In fact, you were responsible for sending those three children to the Longridge farm.
Really, Major Metcalf, I can hardly be held responsible. We had reports from welfare workers. The farm people seemed very nice and most anxious to have the children. It seemed most satisfactory. Fresh milk and eggs and a healthy out-of-doors life.
Kids, blows, salvation, and a thoroughly vicious couple.
Well, how was I supposed to know that?
I was right. It was you.
One tries to do a public duty, and all one gets is abuse.
You must forgive me. I find this all amusing. I enjoy myself greatly.
Oh, I never did like that man! Where did he come from last night?
I don't know. Seems a bit spared to me. Makes his face up too, rouge and powder. Disgusting. Must be quite hectic. Yet he skips about as if he were quite young.
They'll be wanting more. I'll get it.
It's almost dark and yet it's only 4 in the afternoon.
Now, where did I leave my pen?
That's a horrid little tune. Don't you like it? Reminds you of your childhood? Perhaps an unhappy one? I was very happy at the time. You were lovely. Weren't you happy? No. Oh, I'm sorry. But that was all a long time ago. One does get over things, I suppose. Or doesn't one? Then what to say? They say that what happened when you were a child matters more than anything else. They say? They say? Who says? Psychologists. Oh, humbug. Just a damn lot of nonsense. I've no use for psychologists and psychiatrists. I've never really had much to do with them. Good thing for you, you haven't. There's all a lot to do, the whole thing. Like what you think of it. Look straight ahead, don't look back. Well, one can't always help looking back. Nonsense. It's a question of willpower, I suppose. I know. But sometimes things happen to make you remember. Don't give in. Turn your back. Is that really the right way, I wonder? Perhaps one ought to really face them. It depends on what you're talking about. I sometimes hardly know what I'm talking about. Nothing from my past is going to affect me except in the way that I want it to.
Everything's all right upstairs.
What's here? back and forth to Superintendent Hallway now.
But you can't telephone, the line's dead.
What? Since when?
It meant I've tried it just after you arrived.
As I arrived earlier, Superintendent Hallway got you all right.
Yes, but I suppose instead it's gone down with the snow.
I wonder. It may have been cut.
Cut? Who would cut it?
How much did you know what people say in the guest house, Mr. Ralston?
Well, Mrs. Boyle worked from Bournemouth Hotel, met Catherine Anderson, what was it again?
Lincoln.
Read her from Hampstead, and that casewoman from a private hotel in Kensington. Harrison, as you very well know, showed up out of the blue last night. Still, they've all got IDs and that sort of thing.
I should go first, I'm sure, but there's not much evidence of your.
Oh shit. Scared to crap.
Do you have a description of what this man looks like in London?
Yes. Medium height, indeterminate build, or darkish overcoat, or a muffler over the face, soft felt hat, spoken whisper. See, it's the telephone wire that worries me. It's been cut.
Well, even if this homicide maniac is on his way here to kill us all, we're quite safe now because of the snow. No one can get here till it melts.
Unless he's here already.
Here? Already?
Certainly Mr. Ralston. The people arrived here a couple of hours after the murder was committed. Plenty of time for the to get here.
But aside from Mr. Harrison, it all book ahead of time.
These crimes are planned.
Christ. Speaks though there's more than one. There's only been one across the street. How are you so sure that we'll have another one here?
That will happen here? No. I hope to predict that. That will be attempted, yes.
It's just so fantastic.
It's not fantastic, it's just facts.
Will you excuse me? I must get on the vegetables.
Is there an extension?
I beg your pardon, did you say something?
Yes, I said, is there an extension?
Yes, up in our adventure.
Go up there and try it, will you?
Oh, who's left this window open?
To understand what I may term as the mechanics of fear, you have to study the precise effects produced on the human mind. Imagine, for instance, that you are alone in a room. It is late in the afternoon. A door opens softly behind you.
Oh, it's you. I couldn't find anything worth listening to on the radio. Now, what are you doing? Why did you turn off the lights? What are you doing? In your hands are very cold. Why is it all dark? What noise?
time to think.
I can't think. My head's nuts.
Mrs. Ward had only just been killed when you got to her. You came from the kitchen. Are you sure you didn't see it and get anybody who came along the hallway?
I came in here because I heard the radio blaring out in here, and I couldn't think who turned it on so loud, and I wouldn't hear anything else but that, now would I?
That's clearly the murderer's idea. Or the murderess.
How could I hear anything else?
You might have, if the murderer had left the hall outside. You have to really come from the kitchen, sit at the back stairs, or into the dining room.
I think, I'm not sure, I heard a door creak and shut just as I came out of the kitchen.
Which door?
I don't know.
Think, Mrs. Rawson. Think. Upstairs, downstairs, close to hand, right, left.
I don't know, I tell you, I'm not even sure I heard anything.
Can't you stop bullying her?
We're investigating the murder, Mr. Rawson. Up to now, no one's taken this thing seriously. Mrs. Warden, she held out for information, but now she's dead.
So you're saying there's going to be another one here?
Yes, Mr. Rawson.
Why?
That's what to find out, Mr. Rawson.
The whole thing's crazy.
The time of the murder, you, Mr. Rawson, were upstairs today behind the extension telephone. Where were you when you heard Mr. Rawson scream?
I was still up in the bedroom. They said she telephone's dead there too. I opened up the window to see if there's any sign of the wires being up, but there wasn't. Shortly after I closed the window, I heard Billy scream and I rushed down.
Those simple actions took you around a long time, didn't they, Mr. Rawson?
I don't think so.
Yes, I should say you definitely took your time over them.
I was thinking about something. Why?
Mr. Rick, I have your account of where you were.
I've been in the kitchen seeing if there was anything I could do to help Mrs. Ralston. I adore cooking. After that, I went upstairs to my bedroom.
Why?
It's quite a natural thing to go to one's bedroom, don't you think? I mean, one does want to be alone sometimes.
You went to your bedroom because you wanted to be alone.
And I wanted to brush my hair and tidy up.
You wanted to brush your hair.
Anyway, that's where I was.
And you heard Mr. Rawson scream.
Yes.
And you came down.
Yes.
Curious that you and Mr. Rawson didn't meet on the stairs.
I came down by the back stairs, nearest to my room.
Did you go to your mother upstairs too? Or did you come through here?
I went up my back stairs too.
Mr. Pharisee?
I never told you. I was playing the piano through the drawing room, through. There, Inspector.
I'm not an inspector, just a sergeant. Did anybody hear you playing the piano?
I do not think so. I was playing the piano bad, soft, one finger so.
You're playing Three Blind Mice.
Yes, it is a catchy little tune. It's, how shall I say, a haunting little tune. Don't you all agree?
I think it's horrible.
Yes, it runs in people's heads. Some was whistling it too.
Whistling it? Where?
I'm not so sure. Perhaps in the front hall. Perhaps upstairs in a bedroom. Perhaps even on the stairs.
Who's whistling Three Blind Mice? Are you making this up, Mr. Pharisee?
Oh, no, my dear Inspector. Oh, I beg your pardon. Sorry. I would never do a thing like that.
Very well. Well, go on, you playing the piano.
But one finger so. And then I hear the radio playing very loud. Someone shouting. It invaded my ears. And then, all of a sudden, I hear Mrs. Ralston scream. Ah!
Mr. Rawson upstairs. Mr. Red upstairs. Mr. Pharisee in the drawing room. Miss Casewell,
I was writing letters in the library.
did you hear what was going on in here?
Yes.
You say you're writing letters in the library.
Yes.
What did you, Mr. Rawson, scream?
Could you repeat that?
What did you do when Mrs. Rawson screamed?
I came in here.
Early?
I think so.
You say you're writing letters in the library.
Yes.
And yet, there doesn't seem to be unfinished letters on the writing desk in the library.
I brought some with me.
Dearest Jessie, I printed yours in relation.
None of your damn business.
Perhaps not. What about you, Major?
Oh. I had gone down to the cupboard place, you know, the one by the stairs near the kitchen. I had gone down into the cupboard place and saw a lot of junk and sports now. And then I noticed there was another door, and I opened it and saw a flight of steps. I was curious, and I went on down. Nice cellars you've got.
Glad you like them.
Not at all. Crypt of an old monastery, I should say. Probably why this place is called Mousetrap.
We're not engaged in antiquarian research, Major Metcalf, investigating a murder.
There would be fingerprints on the cupboard.
Oh, mine are there all right. But aren't most criminals careful to wear gloves?
It's usual, all criminals slip up sooner or later.
I understand. If that's really true.
Okay, look here. Aren't we all wasting time? There's just one person.
Please, Mrs. Ralston, I'm in charge of this investigation.
Alright, but very well, but this is
Mr. Ralston! Thank you. Now, when this boy was killed, I left that under there to trace a telephone wire around the front. Miss Ralston says she had the door shut with the bank creek. That particular door shuts with the creek. It could be, that after killing Mrs. Ball, the murderer heard Mrs. Ralston come from the kitchen. She slipped into the cabin, pulling the door to after him.
A lot of things could be.
But, Sergeant, look here, you speak so under suspicion. That's absurd.
In a murder case, everyone is under suspicion, Mr. Ralston.
But you know very well who killed that woman in Culver Street. It's the eldest of those 3 children at the farm. Mentally abnormal young man at the age of 23. Damn it all, there's just one person here who fits the bill.
It's not true. It's not true. You're all against me. You've always been against me. You're going to find me for murder. It's persecution. That's what it is, persecution.
Steady, lad, steady.
It's all right, Christopher. Tell him it's all right.
Young Frank.
Tell him you're not going to arrest him.
I'm not going to arrest anyone. See, that's I've got to have evidence. I haven't got any evidence. Yet.
Molly, I think you're crazy. You too. There's just one person here who fits the bill, and if only as a safety measure, you have to be put under arrest. Only fair for the rest of us.
Wait, Giles, please. Sergeant Carter, can I speak to you a minute?
Certainly, Mrs. Ralston. Will the rest of you go to the dining room, please?
I'm staying.
No, Giles, you too.
I'm staying!
Please,
I know what's come over you, Molly.
please.
Yes, Mrs. Ralston. What did you want to say?
Sergeant Carter, you think that this crazy killer must be the eldest of the 3 boys at the farm, but you don't know that, do you?
We don't actually know a thing. All we've got so far is that the woman who took part in ill-treating and starving the children has been killed. And that the one magistrate who was responsible for placing them there has been killed. The telephone wire that links me with police headquarters has been cut.
But you don't know that. It may have just been the snow.
No, Mrs. Ralston, the line was deliberately cut. I found it just outside the front door there.
I see.
I've seen Mrs. Ralston.
But all the same, you don't know.
I'm a member of one dead. At all points one way. Mental instability, childish brutality, desertion from the army, and a psychiatrist's report.
Yes, and therefore it all seems to point to Christopher, but I don't believe it is Christopher. There must be other possibilities.
Such as?
Well, had those children any relations at all?
The mother was a drunk. She died soon after the children were taken from her.
And what about their father?
He was an army sergeant serving abroad. If he's still alive, he's probably been discharged by now.
But you don't know where he is now.
With no way of tracing him. But I can assure you, Mr. Ralston, the police take every eventuality into account.
But you don't know where he is at this minute, and if the son is mentally unstable, the father may have been unstable too.
It's a possibility.
If he had come home after being a prisoner with the Japs, perhaps, and after having suffered terribly, if he came home and saw his wife dead, and that his children had gone through some terrible experience, and one of them had died through it, he might go off his head a bit and want revenge.
That's only surmise.
But it's possible.
Oh yes, Mrs. Rawson, it's quite possible.
So the mother may be middle-aged or even old. When I said the police had run up, Major Metcalf was frightfully upset. He really was. I saw his face.
Major Metcalf?
Middle-aged, a soldier. I know he's thinking quite nice and perfectly normal, but it mightn't show, might it?
No, not doesn't show at all.
So it's not only Christopher who's the suspect, there's Major Metcalf as well.
Any other suggestions?
Well, Mr. Pericini did drop the poker when I said the police had run up.
Mr. Carosini?
I know he seems quite old and foreign and everything, but he might not be as old as he looks. He moves like a much younger man, and he's definitely got makeup on his face. Miss Casewell noticed it too. He might be, and oh, I know it sounds very melodramatic, but he might be disguised.
You're very anxious, aren't you, that it should be young Mr. Wynne?
He just seems so helpless somehow, and so unhappy.
Mr. Rawson, let me tell you something. I've had all possibilities in mind ever since the beginning. Lord Georgie, the father, and someone else. There was a sister, you remember?
Oh, the sister.
It might have been a woman who killed Marie Lyon. Oh yes, it might have been a woman.
Miss Casewell?
She's a bit old for the part, don't you think? Oh yes, Mrs. Rawson. There's certainly a wide field. There's yourself, for instance.
Me?
You're about the right age.
But
Yeah. Whatever you want to tell me, I've no means of checking at this moment, remember? And then there's your husband.
Giles, don't be ridiculous.
He and Christopher are much of an age. Oh sure, Giles may be a little older than she is, and Christopher may look a little younger, but actual age is very hard to tell.
Okay, but Giles isn't the killer. That's crazy.
How long have you been married to your husband, Mr. Coulson?
Just a year.
Where did you meet?
We met at a dance. We went to a party.
Did you meet his people?
He hasn't seen people. They're all dead.
They're all dead.
Yes, but oh, you make it sound all wrong. His father was barrister and his mother died when he was babies.
You'd be surprised, Mr. Rawson, so many cases like yours we get ever since the war. Homes broken up, families dead. Girl doesn't find out for years that her husband's squandering back to death or an hour deserter, or something equally undesirable. There used to be relations that used to make the inquiries before an engagement was set. That's all done away with. You all just marry some man. How long have you known your husband before you got married to him?
Just 3 weeks.
Just 3 weeks.
Yes. You know, it's absolutely absurd to suggest he's some horrible, crazy, homicidal maniac. Why, he wasn't even in London yesterday when the matter took place.
Who was it? Here?
No, he went in the car across the country to find some wire netting for our chickens.
Bring it back with him.
No, it turned out to be the wrong kind.
Only an hour from London, aren't you? An hour by train. A little longer by car.
Yes, but I tell you, Giles wasn't in London yesterday.
Just a minute, Mr. Rawson. This has to coat.
Yes.
Evening news. Yesterday's. Sold on the streets of London around 3:30 yesterday afternoon.
I don't believe it.
Don't you? Don't you?
Mom,
Oh, you startled me.
where is he? Where is he gone?
Who?
The sergeant.
Oh, he went out that way.
Only there was some place I could hide. Somewhere, some way.
Hide?
Yes, from him.
Why?
Darn, there are some property against me. They don't say I committed these murders, particularly your husband.
Oh, never mind him. Chris, you can't go on running from things all your life.
Why do you say that?
Well, it's true, isn't
at me in school and call me little Christopher Robin. Robin, friend. Association of ideas. It was hell being at school.
What's your real name?
We needn't go into that. I ran away whilst I was doing my army service. It was also beastly and I hated it. Yes, I'm just like the unknown manager. I told you I was the one with specifications fitted. You see, my mother.
Yes, your mother.
Everything would be all right if she hadn't died. She would have taken care of me and looked after me.
You can't go on being looked after all your life, Chris. Things happen to you and you've got to bear them. You've got to go on just as usual.
One can't do that.
Yes, one can.
You mean you have?
Yes.
What was it? Something very bad?
It was horrible.
Was it to do with Giles?
No, it was long before I met Giles.
You must have been very young. Almost a child.
Perhaps that's why it was so awful. It was horrible. I tried to put it out of my mind. I tried never to think about it.
So you're running away too. Running away from things instead of facing them.
I guess in a way I am. Considering I never saw you until yesterday, we seem to know each other rather well.
Yes, it's quite hard, isn't it?
I guess there's sort of a sympathy between us.
Anyway, you think I'll stick it out?
Well, frankly, what else can you do?
I might pinch the sergeant's skis. I can ski quite well.
That would be frightfully stupid of you. That would practically be like admitting you're guilty.
Sergeant Trotter thinks I'm guilty.
You know, I don't know what he thinks. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. Ooh. Sergeant Trotter, he can make you think things that can't possibly be true.
What is all this?
I can't believe it. I won't believe it.
What won't you believe? Come on, out with it!
You see this?
Yes.
What is it? Yesterday's evening paper. A London paper. It was in Giles' pocket. But Giles wasn't in London yesterday.
Oh, he was here all day.
But he wasn't. He went in the car to get wine medicine for our chickens.
Well, that's all right. Perhaps he did go alone after all.
Then why shouldn't he tell me he did?
Good Lord, Molly, surely you don't think the sergeant doesn't think...
I don't know what the sergeant thinks. And he can make you think things. He can make you question and begin to doubt. Make you feel like someone you love and know well might be a stranger. That's what happens in a nightmare. You're in the middle of friends, and suddenly you look at their faces, and they're not your friends any longer. They're different people, just pretending. Perhaps you can't trust anybody. Perhaps everybody's a stranger.
I seem to be interrupting something.
No. We were just talking. I must go to the kitchen. There's pie, potatoes, and stuff.
I'll come and give you a hand.
No, you won't.
Giles.
You can't talk tense. Aren't very healthy as happy right now. You out of the kitchen, you away from my wife.
But really, look
You
here.
get out of the kitchen and you put her my wife, friend. She's not going to become the next victim.
So that's what you think about me.
I already said so, haven't I? There's a killer who's in this house. And it seems like you fit the bill.
I'm not the only one to fit the bill.
Oh, I don't see who else does.
How blind are you? Or do you just pretend to be blind?
I tell you, I'm worried about my wife's safety.
So am I. I'm not going to leave you here alone, Karen.
What the hell?
Please go, Chris.
I'm not going.
Please.
Shut me far away, kid.
Molly, what is all this? You must be crazy. You're really prepared to share something in the kitchen with a homicidal maniac.
He isn't.
You've always had to look at him. He's barmy.
He isn't. I know he isn't. I know he was dangerous. And anyway, I can take care of myself.
That's what Mrs. Boyle said.
Oh, don't.
What is it between you and that wretched boy?
What do you mean by between us?
Perhaps you suggested to him to come here. Perhaps you suggested to pretend to meet for the first time. And all cooked up between you two, wasn't it?
Okay, you're being absolutely ridiculous.
Rather odd, isn't it? That he should come and stay in an out-of-the-way place like this.
You know, no odder than that Miss Casewell and Major Metcalf and Miss Boyle should.
You know, I read once in a paper where these homicidal cases were up to attract women. This is ever true.
You're being ridiculous. I never set eyes on this man until he arrived.
What's been going on?
Oh,
first know him?
I tell you, I haven't seen him since he arrived yesterday.
That's what you say. Perhaps we've been up to London to meet him on the sly.
Oh, you know very well I haven't been up to London in weeks.
Oh, you've been up to London in weeks. Is that so?
Yes.
Oh, really? What is this?
Oh, that.
This is a London bus ticket. I found it in the gloves you're wearing earlier today.
All right. I went to London.
Well, let's safely race it around the countryside.
Whilst you were safely racing around the countryside.
Well, come on now, admit it. You went to London.
All right, I went to London, but so did you.
What?
So did you. You brought back an evening paper.
Where'd she get a hold of that?
It was in your overcoat pocket.
And who could put it there?
Did they? No, you were in London.
All right, yes, I was in London. I didn't go meet a woman there.
Didn't you? Are you sure you didn't?
What do you mean?
No, don't come near me.
What's the matter?
Don't touch me.
Did you want to meet Christopher in or not?
No, I tell you, I wasn't in London and I never met Christopher before.
Then why did you go?
I shan't tell you that. Perhaps now I've forgotten why I went.
Well, like, what is all this? I feel as I don't know you anymore.
Perhaps you never did know me. We've been married how long? A year? You never knew anything about me, what I'd done or thought or felt or suffered before you knew me.
Well, you're crazy.
Perhaps I am crazy, you know? Maybe it's fun to be crazy.
What the hell?
Now, like true folk, you young people are dancing a little more than you need. But after these lovers' quarrels.
Lovers' quarrels. That's good.
Quite so, quite so. I know just how you feel. I've been through all this before when I was younger. Je ne sais, as the poet says. Nothing very long happened.
It's no business of yours, Mr. Kerosene.
No business at all. But I came in to say that the sergeant cannot find his keys, and I'm afraid he found them.
Christopher.
What did you say?
He wants to know if you have happened to have anything to do with them, Mr. Ralston.
Of course not.
Mr. Ralston, Mr. Ralston. If either of you two would pair of skis from the cabin back there where we put them.
Certainly not.
And then they're gone. Somebody's taken them.
I wonder, what made you happen to look for this side?
The snow is still lying. I need help with reinforcements. I was going to ride over to Market House to report the situation.
And now you can. Dear. Somebody certainly see that you just do that. But there could be another reason.
What did you mean when you said Christopher just now?
Nothing.
Oh, so a young architect has booked it, has he? Very interesting.
Is this true, Mr. Ralston?
Oh, Christopher, you haven't gone after all.
Have you taken my skis, Mr. Red?
Your skis, Sergeant? No, why should I?
Mrs. Ralston seemed to think.
Christopher is very fond of skiing. I thought he might just go out to get a little exercise.
Exercise.
This is serious matter. I want everyone here at once.
I think I've left this case well upstairs.
I'll get him.
I left Major Metcalf in the dining room. Major Metcalf! He's not there.
I'll try to find him. Sit down, Miss Caswell. Hello. What's it mean? This question of my skis. Skis?
Mr. Ralston!
Sit down, Major. My skis are missing. One of you's taken them. I want to know which one that is. didn't come today, in the sun.
Yes, I was.
At the time Mrs. Boyle was killed.
At the time Mrs. Boyle was killed, I had gone down to the cellar.
Did you see my skis?
I haven't the least idea.
You must have seen them.
I can't remember.
You must remember if they were there then.
No good shouting at me, young fellow. I wasn't thinking about any damn skis. I was interested in the cellar. Architecture of this place is very interesting. I noticed there was another door and I went on down. So I can't tell you whether the skis were there or not.
Nevertheless, they're gone.
I don't know what to tell you.
Perhaps if we were to go look around, maybe someone could find these keys.
Yes, we ought to be able to find them if we all set to. Not a case of hunting them, whacking great big skis.
Just
Supposing we all set to.
Just a minute, Major. That may be, exactly what we meant to do.
I don't get you.
I'm in a phase where I've got to put myself in the mind of a crazy canning brain. I've got to ask myself what he wants us to do and what he himself is going to do next. I've got to be just one step ahead of him, because if I don't, there's going to be another day.
Nonsense. Surely it be a most unlikely coincidence that there should be two people brought here by chance, both with a share in the Longbridge boundaries.
Given certain circumstances, it doesn't seem so much of a coincidence. Things happen, respectable.
Isidore, can we all go?
God, you can go.
Talking of chicken, my dear lady, have you ever tried chicken's liver served on toast with thickly seared with foie gras, with a very thin rasher of bacon just touched with a soup corner mustard? I shall take you to the kitchen. We shall see what we can concoct.
I am helping my wife, Mr. Harrison.
Oh, I do not believe your husband is happy with you being alone with me. It is my dishonorable and not-by-statistic tendencies he fears. My dishonorable disgust. Alas, what an obstacle the husband always is! A broken clock.
I'm sure Giles doesn't think that.
No, he is very wise. Takes no chances. Can I prove to you, or to him, or to our guard sergeant, that I am not a common son of man, and perhaps that I am.
Oh, don't.
But such a gay little tune. She cut off all the hair like a garden knife. Sneak, sneak, sneak. Delicious. Just what a child would adore. Cruel little things children are. Some of them never grow up.
Stop fighting my wife at once.
No, you see, it's silly of me, but I found her. Her face was all purple, and I can't forget it.
No, it is difficult to forget things. You really aren't a forgetting kind.
I must go. To sovereign reason. Please, Giles.
What did you say to the lady who upset her, sir?
Oh, me? No, just having a little easy fun. I've always been fond of a little joke.
It's nice fun. Then there's when it's not so nice.
I wonder what you mean by that, Sergeant.
I've been doing this to wonder about you, sir.
Indeed.
You and that card holder, how can turn over the cellar so conveniently.
Inconveniently, you mean, don't you, Sergeant?
Where were you coming from last night?
Oh, I was just heading over to a friend's house.
What was the name and address of this friend?
I don't think that has anything to do with this predicament now, does it, Sergeant?
We always like to full of information.
Well, I'm not keeping my friend's name away. No need for it.
It seems not. Where were you
My address. I always stay at the Ritz Hotel in London.
Very nice place too, I'm sure. What's your permanent address?
I can slap permanent seat. I can see where this is going. Where do you want? As you should know, I play the markets.
Stockbroker.
Oh, Lord, give me some. Stand with me.
This isn't a game, sir. You mix up the murder case, don't you forget it. Murder's just all fun and games.
Not even this murder? Oh, my dear Sergeant Father, you are very serious. I thought the policeman had no sense of humor. Ah, is the Inquisition over for the moment?
For the moment, yes.
Thank you so much. I shall go to the drawing room and look for your skis there, just in case someone has hidden it in that grand piano.
Just a minute.
Were you talking to me?
Have a seat, Miss Casewell.
What do you want?
You hear some of the questions I was asking to Harrison.
I heard them.
I've got a few questions for you.
What do you want to know?
What's your name?
Leslie Margaret Catherine Casler.
Catherine.
I spell it with K.
Quite so. What's your address?
Villa Mariposa, Pine Door, Mallorca.
That's in Italy.
It's an island, Spanish island.
What's your English address?
Care of Morgan's Bay, Venville Street.
Any other English addresses?
No.
Is anyone to vouch for you?
I can refer you to a solicitor. He's a very discreet man. I'm not in the position to offer you a financial type thing. I lived most of my life abroad.
Were you born abroad?
No, I left England when I was 13.
Was your name Casewell then?
It's my name now.
What did you come here to do, Miss Casewell?
I just wanted somewhere quiet in the country.
But why Marshall Manor?
Very nice place.
What did you come here to do? What did you come here to do, Miss Casewell?
Sorry, I beg your pardon. I was thinking of something else.
Do you mind me asking your age, Miss Casewell?
I'm not at all. It's on my passport. I'm 24. You're thinking I have a quota. You'd be right.
What's your real name, Miss Casewell?
I told you it's Leslie Margaret Catherine Casewell.
Catherine. What the hell are you doing here?
Oh, God. I wish to God I'd never come here.
I always thought the police weren't allowed to give people the third degree.
We merely interrogated Miss Casewell.
You seem to upset her. What did you do?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just all of this madness come over me all at once. I'll go up to my room.
It's impossible. I just don't believe this.
Well, can't you believe? 6 impossible things before breakfast, like the Red Queen.
Oh yes, it's something like that.
Dear me, you look as though you've seen a ghost.
I've seen something I've seen before. Liners not something. But now I've got something to go on.
The police have a clue.
Yes, at last, the police have a clue. Where's everybody at?
Giles and Molly are in the kitchen. I've been helping making that capital of skis. We've looked in the most entertaining places, but all to no avail. I don't know what power of seeing is.
Obviously, you'll be jealous. It's Vaccine. Vaccine.
Mr. Harrison!
What is all this?
Absolutely, Mr. Rawson.
Must I come in now? It's very inconvenient.
But things are more important than meals, Mr. Rawson. For instance, Mrs. Boyle won't be wanting another meal.
It's a very tactless way of putting things, Sergeant.
I'm sorry, we're on cooperation. We gotta get the schedule, please, Mr. Rawson. She's up there. Don't let her only just a minute.
Have your skis been found, Sergeant?
Not yet, but I have a strong suspicion of who's taken them. Forgive me, I don't make that quite clear just at the moment.
Please, I always love the explanation of the bad and at last. Saint Jackson, no?
Simple to game, sir.
Isn't it? Now there I think you're wrong. I think it is a game for somebody.
You think the mother is enjoying himself? Man. Man.
Sit down, Miss Kate.
What's going on?
I come up with a plan to help you find the skis. Furthermore, who is together? As I was always killed, I took particulars of everyone in the household. You, Mr. Rawson, were upstairs in the bedroom. Mrs. Harrison in the drawing room playing the piano. Mrs. Rawson was in the kitchen. Mr. Wren up in the bedroom. Miss Casewell in the library. Internet Cathy in his cellar.
Correct.
Those are your statements at the time. I know he's taking to check to see if the statement is true or not. As it is, one of those statements is false. There's 6 of you listening to me. One of you is a liar. Which means one of you is the killer.
What do you have us do?
A reenactment of the event.
Ah, your chestnut. A reconstruction of the crime.
Not to reconstruction of crime, Mr. Ferguson. A reenactment of the events of seemingly innocent persons.
You want to take breaking performance.
Yes, Mr. Ross.
It's a trap.
Fine.
It's a trap. I know it is.
What makes you say that, Mrs. Robson?
It's obvious.
Well, what exactly do you expect to learn from this?
See which one of these statements is true, then which one of these is false. Furthermore, finding out who the liar is.
I simply can't see what you can possibly hope to find out by making us do the things we did before. I think it's just nonsense.
You're guilty by the looks of you, seemingly unwilling.
Of course, whatever you say goes, Sergeant. We'll all do exactly the same. Hey, Molly?
Very well.
Ren? Miss Casewell?
Yes.
Paravicini?
Oh, yes, I can see.
Metcalf?
Yes.
Are all do exactly as we did before?
The same actions will perform, yes, but not necessarily by the same people.
Well, I can go and play the piano again.
Yep. Mrs. Rawson, do you play the piano?
Yes.
Then you can pick out on the piano 3 line march, just as opposed to one finger instead.
Yes. We all know the tune.
Go into the drawing room, please, much like you see.
But I understood we were to perform our formal roles.
The same action will perform, yes, but not necessarily by the same people. Thank you, Mrs. Rawson. Mr. Parasini, you will go up to the room of Mr. Richard. I will assign you the rest of your stations. Mr. Rawson? Wait there. Mr. McCann, would you go up to Mr. Rawson and Mr. Rawson occupied, please, and check the position telephone like he did? Mr. Richard, I think you're really fond of cooking, isn't it? Will you go to the kitchen, please, and watch Mrs. Rawson's dinner? Miss Casewell, could you go into the cellar? Mr. Richard will show you the way. Unfortunately, I need someone to reenact my own actions. It's not a chilly job, but you're probably the toughest person here, Mr. Rawson.
And what are you going to do?
I'll be acting up at the squad.
Taking a bit of a risk, aren't you?
You're not saying stations until I give you the word.
Fire again.
There's no objection to my wearing a coat.
I can pass. Take that torch, just behind the curtain there. Captain, Mr. Austin, he is. Mrs. Ralston. Mrs. Ralston.
Yes. You're looking very pleased with yourself. Have you got what you wanted?
Yes, Mrs. Ralston, I've got exactly what I wanted.
Okay, so you know who the murderer is?
Indeed I do, Mrs. Ralston. You want to know?
I.
You know an art of information. You can hold it out to me, though. Puts you up in a great deal of danger from doing that. You had better send Noah to the Lower Farm case. You knew Mrs. Wall was the magistrate concerned.
I don't understand. I wanted to forget.
You made me Rory, isn't it?
Yes.
Miss Rory, the teacher at the school was children, right?
Yes.
Is it true that Jimmy, before he died, sent you a letter begging for help from his kind young teacher?
Yes. But I never got it.
This didn't always.
That's not true. I was ill. I'd been down with pneumonia that very day. It was weeks afterwards till I got that letter, along with a lot of other letters. And it's haunted me ever since. And it's monstrous that such things should happen.
Oh yes, Mrs. Ralston. It's quite monstrous.
I didn't know the police carried revolvers.
I'm not a policeman, Mrs. Ralston.
Oh,
Do you know who I am, Mrs. Ralston? I'm Georgie. Jim's brother, Georgie. They see that mean, nasty woman killed him all the way to prison. Prison wasn't bad enough, though. I said I'd killed them all one day. I did. In the fog, I killed her. It was great fun. I'm going to kill you too, Mrs. Ralston.
you better not. That you never get away safely.
I'm tired. My skis are missing. I'm not worried about my safety anymore, Mrs. Ralston. It's all been satisfying. But didn't even need policemen fooling you all.
That revolver will make a lot of noise.
It's real rather, won't it? Much better to do it the usual way. They take us by the neck, Mrs. Ralston.
Georgie! Georgie! Georgie, you remember me, don't you? Don't you remember the farm, Georgie? The animals, the fat old pig. David Ford chased us across the field and the dogs.
Dogs.
Yes, spots and plain.
Kathy, is it you?
Yes, it's Kathy.
What's he doing here?
Oh, I came to England to find you. I didn't recognize you until just now.
Kathy, is it you?
Yes. Now come with me. You're coming with me.
Where are we going?
I'm going to take you somewhere where you can't hurt anyone anymore.
Ralston! Ralston! Molly? Molly! Darling, are you all right?
John! He's mad. He's quite mad.
Yes, but you?
I was caught up in an
just who he said it to. His sister's looking at him. The poor man's as mad as a hatter, of course. But I'd had my suspicions of him all along.
Didn't you believe he was a policeman?
Oh, I knew he wasn't a policeman. Because you see, Mrs. Ralston, I'm a policeman.
You?
Yes. When we found that note that had Monkswell Manor written in it, we saw it vital to have someone on the spot. When it was put to him, Major Metcalf really let me go in his place. I couldn't understand it when Straughtus showed up. His sister, Miss Casewell, recognized him just before this last business. She didn't really know what to do at first, but luckily came to me just in time. Well, from what I saw earlier, the snow is beginning to fall. Help should be here pretty soon. Oh, and Mrs. Ralston, I will remove those skis. I hid them on top of the forepost.
And I thought it was a pair of seams.
Yes, I expect the car was rather careful. Mr. President found so thousands to switch washes and spare wheel. Darling, I think you thought it was
Why were you in London yesterday?
Darling, I was buying you an anniversary present. It's been nearly a year ago today.